Hello, I'm Jasco, and this is Exploring Environments, a series in which I explore the world of games to see what interesting things are hidden in plain sight from a level designer's point of view. This time, we're exploring Resident Evil 2, so let's get started. This first one takes place inside the cell where Mr. X shoves his hand through the wall and grabs the informant. I was looking around and I looked inside this hole and I saw that I could see the corners of each wall touching the floor. So basically it was just a cube in there. So where did Mr. X go? Did he disappear? Who knows? I just wanted to show that when you're designing like a level, you want to like make it so the player can't see these things, make it more believable. Kind of makes it kind of takes the immersion out of the game when you can see these things basically. So that's one I didn't notice like until this actual playthrough when I was looking for these things. This car is way too big. Like you can almost stand in how big it is. This police car inside the garage is actually way smaller than the actual size it needs to be. But this car, I think it's like sized up by maybe 2 or 3 times. I think it's in order to make the lighting when it's shining through the gate right there to make it more dramatic for when you're in the garage. But just wanted to point this out. This shooting range poster, it looks like it has dates in the future, like 2007 and 8 on there, but this game takes place in 1998. And then the writing on there is talking about some random case that some lady was, I guess, in, but it's like random pieces of the case, so it doesn't really make any full story. But there's a certain word in there that I cannot figure out what it says. Maybe it says Jonesburg. But if you can connect that word, you can probably figure out what this case belongs to. I'm trying to figure out what these signs mean, but the one at the top, AH Bridge, which could be referring to something called AD Hargenling Bridge, which is like a electrical circuit that reverses polarity and everything. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't know that much about that, but that's the closest thing I could find to that. And WTCI, which basically I can't find anything on that either, but everything I do search up with that name pulls up military grade equipment you can buy from different locations, like armor, weapons. It's mostly clothing, but yeah, and then the gun sting, you know, you could probably figure that out. So this shooting range poster just talks about diapers at the top here, and then baby bottles all the way to the bottom. It was really weird to read. I think it's just them using random text to fill in like spots on like a poster. That's the best logical thing I can come up with, but yeah, they're just baby related items. These smaller like red barrels in the trash piles down the sewers. I don't think most people are going to notice this anyway, so it's not a big deal, but I saw them because they look like the generic red barrels you see in games, so I wanted to point that out. Unless you're a psycho like me, you're not going to notice it. I noticed this a lot about this game, where it increases the size of smaller objects or decreases the size of bigger objects. This is a good example. These roaches here are about the size of Ada's entire foot, and some of them are actually bigger. Like some of them are like a foot long. And I think it's a cool choice to put these in because they're really creepy. Nasty, honestly. One of those things crawling on you. I don't know if this is an Easter egg or not, but I think I found like the word Capcom written on this box. It's really hard to read, so I'm not sure if it actually does. I'll put it on the screen for you so you can decide, but I think it says Capcom, so just a small nitpick here on the level design. It's just the player can easily see this floating crane down here. I would have put like something to block the view, or maybe just extend the crane a little bit so it's hitting the floor, or maybe move the floor over to the right. You don't want to see this stuff when you're like the player, because it makes you like think it's a game, you know. But you know, it's just a nitpick. You don't really have to. The player's gonna play the game. It's good regardless, but it'd be cool if, you know, you covered it up at least. I'm inside the lab where the umbrella factory is located. You can find newspaper clippings on the wall, the same one you can find at the police station. It's just interesting, they're collecting them and hanging them on the wall. Just like they're prized possessions, like they're proud of it or something down here. Like the same facility, but in the cafeteria. Look at these prices they have on the wall here. $6 for a burger. You're like, oh, $6, it's not so bad. But remember, this is 1998, so the actual price would be around $12 today for cafeteria food. Just crazy. I always wondered how the plants are spreading so quickly throughout the facility. My current theory, however, is that they're using the ventilation systems in order to spread because of the increased airflow coming through. I'm not a biologist, so don't expect a great answer from me, but that's what my current theory is. Just want to show out these containers they have on their desks. They're filled with like intestines and body parts that they seem to be keeping for both testing purposes and as well as like trophies, like a small aquarium you keep on your desk to just look at. This area looks like a licker burst through the ceiling and attacked these people while they were eating in the cafeteria downstairs and infected all of them without destroying their bodies somehow. Looks like none of the new lickers actually got out of their cages, but I think in the movie the AI releases the zombies and lickers in the facility and just slaughter everyone, if I remember correctly. In the area where you find the level 3 access wristband, you can find vines pushing against metal and actually bending them out of the way. The railings, the floorboards, I guess you don't call them floorboards in metal, the floor metal, it's being pushed out of the way by these vines. Imagine you're working in your chemist job and you come in and your boss like, I want you to mix vaccine A and vaccine B. You walk over to this machine and you gotta do a freaking mini game just to do stupid shit. Interesting thing about this zombie is when you get near it, it does not move, it does not get up. You shoot anywhere near it, the walls, floors, sounds don't wake it up, nothing. You actually have to hit the zombie to get it aggroed onto you. Which it's weird, but I thought it was interesting. In the area where Mr. X breaks through the glass and chases you, if you come around and actually try to goad him into chasing you back here, he cannot actually come through the automatic opening doors. It looks like they didn't code him so he can actually come through those doors. I don't think he realizes what it is. Well, actually, he just doesn't think, but I don't think his AI understands what is in front of him, so he considers it an actual closed wall. So he can't actually come through these doors. I'm not sure if other enemies can, but I think the zombies can, if I remember correctly. In the cafeteria, they can walk through the door if you open it for them. So I think it's just particularly Mr. X. In the area just before the virus room where you find the G virus, you can see these two automatic doors ripped open, or I guess shoved open by Dr. Birkin, I'm guessing, because he's in this area as a boss. You also have these footsteps on the floor you can follow, but they just end abruptly, so that didn't help me find anything. In the same room, they have this TV with the placeholder name ABCDEFG. Just thought that was interesting. Usually you don't see letters like that, it's usually numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. At the police station in the graveyard at the beginning of Claire's storyline B, you can see these graves that go from singular graves and then all of a sudden start to become mass graves as the police station was overwhelmed with bodies coming in. Inside the small maintenance shack, you can find this poster for RPD that's actually recruiting members, and you have an opportunity to join the STARS team, which, yeah, good luck with that, but I thought it was a cool thing to look at. Here's another oversized object in the world, this time it's a bus. And it looks like they made it bigger so the camera wouldn't be pushed in when you're walking through it. But I could tell it's oversized because when you're sitting in, if I was putting Claire in that chair right there, she would not be able to reach the pedals and the handle at the same time to drive the actual bus. An interesting one with the graves on it. A Jewish tradition to actually put stones on graves to honor the dead as a way to respect them. In the same area where you can find those graves, you can find this tree. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them, and it looks like the branches are way too big for the size of the tree trunk, which will make the tree fall over because of the weight of the branches. And what I think they did is took a bush, a dead bush, and made the size way bigger in order to make this tree look like it's not, I guess, living. I should have just said dead, but I think they did that. But it just makes the tree look like it's not shaped correctly. This is inside Iron's private room in the orphanage. It looks like he took inspiration from the people in Umbrella and is keeping these intestines in jars. It looks like he's also keeping paintings that are very popular in the 17th and 18th centuries to show the spoils of the hunt. And we'll end it off on a positive note. I just want to show you this small door for animals that the Umbrella facility had. Or I guess the maintenance facility had for their loving dog or cat. Or maybe that was open so the creatures could crawl through it. I'm not sure, but there you go. Anyway, that's everything I found fascinating in this game. I try to share my thoughts as I could, and if you liked what you saw, leave a comment and tell me what other game you want me to check out. I could also do Easter eggs for this game if you want. You can leave that below. I'll try to find every Easter egg possible on the web and show you everything I can. And get my positive spin to it. Anyway, I'll check you out later, whatever that means. See ya.